Stranger Things Season 4 takes the story to a darker, more emotional, and more expansive level, exploring trauma, loss, and the lingering consequences of past events while expanding the world beyond Hawkins. The season opens several months after the Battle of Starcourt Mall, which left the town scarred, Hopper presumed dead, and the group emotionally fractured. Hawkins is no longer the safe, familiar place it once was, and the characters are struggling to cope with the aftermath of everything they have faced. 11 is living in California with Joyce Byers, Will, and Jonathan. Stripped of her powers after closing the gate, she is trying to live a normal life, attending high school for the first time. However, her lack of powers leaves her vulnerable, and she becomes the target of bullying, particularly from a girl named Angela. 11 feels isolated, misunderstood, and ashamed, especially when she lies to Mike in her letters, pretending her life is happy and normal. Mike eventually visits California with Dustin, Lucas, and Max during spring break, but the reunion is awkward. 11's insecurity and Mike's inability to express his feelings create distance between them, showing how much both have changed. Back in Hawkins, the town is gripped by fear as a series of brutal supernatural murders begins. The victims are all teenagers who appear to be suffering from deep emotional trauma. The first is Chrissy Cunningham, the girlfriend of popular basketball player Jason Carver, who is found dead in a horrifying, supernatural manner. Eddie Munson, the leader of the Hellfire Club, is blamed when Chrissy dies in his trailer. Eddie becomes a fugitive, and the town quickly turns against him, fueled by panic and moral hysteria. Dustin, Max, Lucas, Steve, Nancy, and Robin investigate the murders and realize they are connected to a powerful new entity from the Upside Down. Max becomes a central focus of the season as she struggles with the grief of losing her stepbrother Billy. Haunted by guilt and depression, she isolates herself from her friends. This emotional vulnerability makes her a target for the new villain, Vecna, a terrifying being who invades his victims' minds, forces them to relive their worst memories, and ultimately kills them in gruesome ways. Vecna targets Max, trapping her in a nightmarish mental world. As she relives painful memories, the group discovers that music can help break Vecna's control. In one of the most emotional moments of the season, Max escapes Vecna's grasp while Kate Bush's "Running Up That Hill" plays, symbolizing her fight to survive and reclaim hope. However, the experience leaves her deeply shaken, and it becomes clear that Vecna is not easily defeated. Meanwhile, Joyce learns that Hopper is actually alive and imprisoned in a Russian labor camp. With the help of Murray Bauman, she travels to Alaska to arrange a rescue. However, the plan goes wrong, and Joyce and Murray are captured by Russian agents. Hopper, meanwhile, endures brutal conditions in the prison, forced to fight creatures from the Upside Down, including a Demogorgon. Despite the suffering, Hopper's will to survive is driven by his love for Joyce and his desire to atone for his past mistakes. In California, 11's life takes a drastic turn when she retaliates against Angela, leading to her arrest. Soon after, Dr. Brenner reappears, revealing that he has been working on a program to help 11 regain her powers. Desperate to help her friends and stop the growing threat, 11 agrees to return to a secret facility. Through a series of intense and painful experiments, she relives suppressed memories from her childhood, gradually unlocking the truth about her past. These memories reveal a shocking origin story. At the lab, 11 befriended an orderly who encouraged her and showed kindness. This man is later revealed to be Henry Creel, also known as One, the first test subject with powers similar to 11's. Henry manipulated 11 into removing a control device that suppressed his abilities. Once free, he massacred nearly everyone in the lab, revealing his twisted worldview and hatred for humanity. 11 ultimately confronts him and banishes him into the Upside Down, where he transforms into Vecna. This revelation connects all the horrors of the series back to a single origin, giving the Upside Down a more personal and terrifying antagonist. As the season progresses, the group in Hawkins pieces together the truth about Vecna's connection to the Creel house, an old mansion with a dark history. Nancy becomes trapped by Vecna and is forced to relive traumatic memories, but she survives and learns crucial information about Vecna's plan. He intends to open multiple gates between the Upside Down and the real world by killing victims at specific locations, weakening the barrier between dimensions. The characters devise a risky plan to attack Vecna in the Upside Down while 11 confronts him psychically from afar. Steve, Nancy, Robin, and Eddie enter the Upside Down through a gate in the lake, while Dustin, Lucas, and Max remain behind to support them. Max volunteers to act as bait, knowing Vecna will target her again. This decision highlights her courage but also the depth of her despair, as she is willing to risk her life to stop him. In Russia, Hopper, Joyce, and Murray manage to escape the prison amid chaos, destroying Demogorgons and weakening the Upside Down's influence. Their actions help reduce Vecna's power, showing that the fight against the Upside Down is global, not just limited to Hawkins. The final confrontation is intense and tragic. Eddie sacrifices himself to protect Dustin by drawing away a swarm of Demobats, proving his bravery and clearing his name, even though the town never learns the truth. Max is brutally attacked by Vecna, suffering severe injuries. Although Eleven manages to reach Max's mind and temporarily stop Vecna, Max's heart stops, and she dies briefly before Eleven uses her powers to revive her. However, Max is left blind, with broken bones, and trapped in a coma, her mind seemingly gone. Vecna survives the attack and completes his plan. Massive gates rip through Hawkins, merging the Upside Down with the real world. The town is left devastated, with earthquakes tearing it apart. In the aftermath, the group reunites, but victory feels hollow. Max lies in a hospital bed, unresponsive, and Eleven is unable to find her consciousness. Hawkins is on the brink of collapse as dark clouds and ash begin to seep into the town, signaling that the Upside Down's invasion has truly begun. Season 4 ends on a somber and ominous note. The characters stand together, older, scarred, and changed, facing an uncertain future. The season emphasizes that trauma does not disappear, it shapes people and can be exploited by darkness. With Vecna still alive and the barrier between worlds broken, the stage is set for a final battle that will determine the fate of Hawkins and everyone they love.